Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
What the hell's going on out here?
Bum, 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 bum. We interrupt this podcast for a special bulletin. Al Romas, comedian, crowd work specialist extraordinaire, is on his last day of COVID. Is this true?
It's all true, man. It's all good. I'm back.
He's
It took
back.
5
Back in the
days.
saddle again. Wow.
5 days of being, down. It was bad, but
The latest strain.
yeah, a lot of people. It seems like everyone's got it. I was hearing from people saying I have it too, or I had it last week, and
Yep. It's funny because I was hearing it even like a couple of months ago. They said, "Oh, it's coming back. It's coming back," and then I didn't hear anything for a while. Then all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, bum, 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 bum. People are posting their pictures of their test as positive now. Again, I haven't seen that in a year and a half or so, 2 years.
in a coon's age, whatever that. Remember that expression?
Yeah, it always sounded racist to me, and I don't even want to talk about it right now. Let's move on. How are you feeling?
I brought it up. I feel like it is racist somehow. Anyone under 30 wouldn't even know what coon, like that doesn't even, that thing's been gone so long as a term.
Even when we were kids, we would hear it, but we had no reference to what it meant. It was prior to our time. It was like Grizzly Adams stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an oldie. You can hear the voice, but if you'll remember 2 podcasts ago, or whatever it was, a week ago, I can't remember, I had laryngitis during the pod. Then I went on the Icon and had laryngitis. The first 2 nights, it was like I was struggling. I'm working with Steve White and Troy Thirdgill, these, killers. And I got to follow them. And my voice is like, how you doing, everybody? And it was like, oh, come on. So that got better as the week. But I'm thinking back, I left with laryngitis. So I was probably my immune system
compromised. Sure.
Yeah.
It was lowered. Your body was fighting something off that you had. And then you came in contact with the COVID and you got the full, now you get the full blown AIDS.
Yeah, I had the full blown AIDS and drinking the cocktail and almost 10,000 people.
I'm sorry, everybody. This is what we do. Well, we kick a dog when he's down, and we're very politically incorrect, but we're mocking the people that are truly like that. We're not, that's not a part of our vernacular with meaning. It's just absurdity. So
well, I mean it. But
there's another example.
I get on the
He doesn't
Icon,
mean it.
There's 10,000, and then you got 10,000 people, 7,200 passengers, 2,600 crew. Even though I tend to, try to keep my distance, so if your immune system's compromised in any way and you're around 10,000 people, odds are good.
Your buddy Al told you to wear a condom at all times, 24/7, and you keep.
And I do.
You go in the hot tub.
I do. I wear it 20. Remember the old joke, the old 80s comedian joke was, I wear a condom ribbed. I wear the ribbed condom inside out for my pleasure. Folks. Then he'd roll up his sleeves of his blazer and really go for it.
That look is coming back, by the way. I've been seeing people on television interviews wearing sports figures mostly because they're
with this rolled up sleeve.
Yeah. I'm seeing basketball players, and it's all callback, baby.
Wow. Do you don't go blazer at all, do you, on stage anymore? Do you ever wear the blaze?
It's funny you should say that. I brought one with me and I did it the other night for formal night. Yeah. Haven't done that in a long time.
What do you go? Do you go t-shirt underneath, or you go in a button down?
I wore a t-shirt, little V-neck action. It's a Ted Baker funky sports jacket, I guess they would call it. And it looks like I got laid 3 times.
A little pricey for El Ducharme.
It is, but there was a sale.
Ted Baker.
And I opened up a credit card and they gave me an additional 15% off. So that's the only time.
All right. I get it now.
I've got a few Ted Baker pieces in my wardrobe just because.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like a coupon.
Yeah.
Because they don't go on sale all that much. You have to get the store coupon, like Saks Fifth Avenue or Nordstrom.
Yeah. The blazer, I like the look. I've always liked it, but I always feel like the t-shirt, I feel like it's what we came up with. I feel like it's the 80s or 90s. You know what I mean? That look. I remember wearing that in the 90s, the T-shirt and blazer. And I'm like, do I still want to do this again? But, but it is the way to go, because if you got to be somewhat formal, but you don't want to wear a suit.
Well, it's funny, the sneakers. I've worn sneakers on stage in the 80s and the early 90s with a blazer and a T-shirt.
Right. Sure.
And now sneakers instead of shoes, everyone on ESPN, all those guys are wearing 2 and 3 piece suits, like, tailored, and sneakers or shoe sneakers. They're, they look like shoes, but they have a white rim, and that's the look.
I love the shoe sneaker. I've had that for a while. I got new ones. I got the ones without the white stripe around it, because that one I was like, I want to get, so it looks like a real shoe,
right?
But it's a sneaker.
I actually I followed your lead on that, and I actually purchased the same ones that you have, because I'm a hack. I hacked off.
Oh.
And
well done.
I tried them on. They look great. They look very comfortable. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep these until as my backup, and then I'll have a brand new pair of shoes when these get all raggedy. And the ones I'm having on now, I'm not wearing them right now. They're called Kizits. They're you slip them on. They have laces, but you just step in them. I guess Skechers makes a version of it, but these are called Kizits. Yeah, and they really took off because they look great. They're like a suede sneaker shoe, and you just I wear them flying and on stage. So I just step in them, thump thump, no bending over, no tying.
Yeah, I haven't flown at all, other than Europe this year. But if I did, I would have that kind of thing, because that's just so much easier. I always said I'm going to get the Velcro, the slip-on shoe for travel, but I never did, and then I don't really fly much anymore. Speaking of which, today we're recording. This is the outage has hit everywhere. Microsoft, I guess, updated something, and everything's out. No travel today. If anyone,
it's interesting because they're coming out saying they believe it is not actually a cyber attack.
Right.
They said it's a software update from a company that is actually like a virus. Not Norton. What's the other one?
Jim Norton.
No, Norton antivirus software. It's another company, a big one, that handles 24,000 servers throughout the world. And of course, Microsoft is one of their biggest clients. So that's a safety net. So this shit doesn't happen. And their stock is plummeting right now.
Hell yeah.
Cyber company.
I mean, and if you're at the airport, it's one of those days. I mean, I would rent a car if I could and just drive away, because it's one of those days. You're not going anywhere. And if you do, it's going to be midnight at best. And forget it. I would just get out of there.
My wife is traveling today, by the way.
Oh, Godspeed, Bernie.
So she's in Alaska, and she's going through that. She's taking a bus from Seward to Anchorage to get on a flight. And I said, hey, listen, there's going to be an area where you're not going to have any signal. So I hope that your flight is not disrupted by the big outage and all that. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, she gets a signal. Oh my God, did you hear about the outage? So she's in travel hell.
So she is in Seward? Is that, or where's the airport?
She's in between Seward and Anchorage. It's a 3-hour ride. So
God damn.
She's with Chad Chesmark. Do you know Chad?
Magician fella.
Yeah. He's a buddy of mine, and Bernie knows him. So they might be getting a little hotel together.
Hey now,
there's going to be limited rooms. I'm like,
upside down pineapples for everybody. What the hell? Let's do this. Let's
orange whip, upside down pineapple.
Yeah, I like it. I like where this is headed. Make the best of a situation. Now you're traveling tomorrow. Am I right on that, or am I wrong?
Well, tentatively, we'll see if there's any residual. I have a 2-hour, 20-minute flight, 2-hour, 15-minute air time from Houston to Fort Myers. I'll be going to Fort Myers. I was supposed to be there for 2 days and then rent a car and drive to Miami, 2 hours. But it looks like everything is going to be a mess.
It's a little messy. Yeah, it's a good thing you did not. We did not plan on coming here because and stay with me and do some potting and some Two Dicks, because Kelly now has the COVID.
Did you give it to her?
I assume I did. I didn't mean to, but we live in a condo, a 2-bedroom condo.
Did you greet one another?
It's a house of sickness. Well, when I picked her up at the airport, I had a mask on. I stayed in the guest room. I did all the things
You guys,
do,
right? Amateur. That's an amateur move.
How to pick her up, man? Come on, I'm a good boyfriend.
You can send an Uber. You can send an Uber.
No, yeah, I had to be there. Had to be there, man.
Big mistake, rookie move, man. I'm telling you right now. You should have disinfected everything.
Yeah.
You should have sequestered yourself in the guest room, or are you in the master?
No, we changed out all the bedding, and I changed out, and then I gave her the master. I took the guest.
Another rookie mistake. You should have given her the guest room that was uncontaminated. Do you have 2 bathrooms?
Yes.
Dude, you were set up to not give her COVID.
That was her. Well, if she watches this or listens, that was her call.
Well, Kelly, I'm a little disappointed.
The master
in this right now, and I don't know. What kind of. I was going to get you a nice gift for Christmas, but I don't know. I have to rethink that.
Okay, you can still get me a nice gift. What the hell? All right. We sent Mark Preston off a mug, and he was I think he was our latest Patreon member. Got a coffee mug, but I haven't heard anything from him. Didn't even hope it got there. Hope it arrived.
Well, if it didn't arrive prior to this software glitch, they said it was an update, a software update from the cyber company that's supposed to be protecting people from cyber attacks. They're the ones that had the glitch. I'm thinking inside job, someone planted something in there because they weren't happy. A disgruntled worker. It's a conspiracy theory, but
of course it is.
Right?
Everything is. What is it?
I was supposed to be CEO. They said I was going to make it.
Yeah.
I'll fix them.
But it's so everything. I mean, like last week, Trump, as everyone was very aware, got, shot at. I went on Twitter just to read. Within 5 minutes, I wanted to see the conspiracy theories.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
Really, nothing can happen anymore.
There was some people were saying, and not being funny, saying that he did the wrestling thing. He took the razor and cut his own ear.
Yes.
And first of all, Trump, his acting skills, if that's fake, he should be in the movies, Academy Award.
Right. But what happens with these theories fall apart when you okay,
they don't take their posts down.
Who killed the fireman? Who killed the sniper? Like they were these actors. The fireman was an actor. He didn't really die.
Yeah, just like Sandy Hook. All those kids that died.
They're burying an empty casket this morning.
Those were actors that were pretending that they were shot.
Wow.
The 5 and 6 year olds, they were all pretended. They said, "Okay, mommy and daddy will take you out for ice cream if you pretend you're dead."
Yeah, but like the sniper, this kid, 20-year-old.
Is that too dark? Should I cut this out?
No, it's fine. But this 20-year-old kid, it just, he's dead. You can see the photos. He's dead. I just don't. These theories don't follow through. They're like, well, Trump, he cut his own ear, and it's like, oh, say he did that. Okay.
Well, the latest rumors is the sniper.
The dead people?
I saw a friend of mine post this. Nice guy too, but he said
the sniper was a nice guy.
He doesn't believe that he acted alone. He had 2 cell phones and 3 overseas
There's a guy in a water
cryptid
tower
accounts.
now. I've heard. Yeah. Let it go. I mean, unless it's real when it really comes out. But right now, you just can't go down those things. It's too much.
What I'm saying, the incident most likely puts Trump in office. So this guy is a big Republican supporter. Mm-hmm. Why try to jump on this whole theory?
Right. Yeah. Well, you got to look at the race. What you got? You got a guy who has survived an assassination attempt by raising his fist up like that, and you got a guy who his own party wants to get off the ticket.
And they keep showing him
walking
up and down those 64 steps to Air Force One is so ridiculous.
I had COVID all week, and let me tell you, if I had to walk up those steps during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, it would have taken me as long as it took Uncle Joe. You have no oxygen, you have no air, you can't do anything with COVID. But I get it. But this part, they want him gone. Okay, who are you getting? Who's going to run? Harris? You're going to run Harris? Come on. I think
They
know
don't
it's
have a winning
over.
right now. They don't have a winning horse. Other horses have broken legs, and Trump.
They all got. I think
Trump is right
they know
now
it.
a shoe-in.
I think they're going to sacrifice Kamala and look at 2028 because they know it's over. I mean, the guy stood up from a fucking assassination with his fist in the air. You're not beating that. You're not beating that picture. No
way.
No.
And I'm not endorsing him. I'm not endorsing either candidate. I'm not
doing anything.
I'm just saying
they can both go far away for all I care. I have no interest in either one of them in any way. I was trying to watch the convention last night. Trump did 90 minutes.
Yeah.
This guy's 70. You and I can't do 90 minutes. He does 90 minutes.
Well, what are we talking about? Stage time or bedroom time?
On stage now. Well, bedroom. I said records, man. I break records.
Yeah, but we don't want to talk about you and dudes, other dudes.
No, but they're not dudes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Why would I go? Why would because now at my age I'm suddenly gay?
No,
I've been straight my whole life. Now there's dudes in the bedroom. The hell?
Well, there's that one time with the roofie. I don't want to go into details, but I do have video footage. Let's go to the videotape.
Drinking. I used to enjoy drinking, and boy, imagine if you could go back in time and look at like if they had video of the 80s and 90s, like you or me or whoever in the like as a comedian on the road, just crazy shit you did when you're like 30 years old.
Yeah, we couldn't run for any office. We couldn't hold any position.
No. We were lucky. We lived in the right time for all that. So you don't know tomorrow. You may be traveling. You may not be. You don't know. So where would that be out of? Houston, right? You're in Galveston?
Yeah, I have an hour and 15, 20-minute ride in an Uber, which I reserved a few days ago. Do you think it will be affected by this software thing?
They would. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really have no idea.
I just have a feeling it's going to be a zoo tomorrow. 6,500 passengers getting off this beast. And there's a carnival ship. And because now even Galveston, there's like 3 more ships than usual. Sunday.
I don't know, man. It's going to be, that's a disaster. Hopefully they'll clear a lot of it up by tonight. Maybe it comes back, clear up a lot tonight.
There's going to be residual. Tomorrow. I'm just talking about an influx of people trying to get Ubers and Lyfts. And a lot of people drove, but,
Yeah. What time are you heading?
Bernie tried to get an Uber to the airport with the hurricane, Beryl, and couldn't get one. So she hired a taxi, $180.
Whoa.
Because they were gouging.
Christ. Of course, but
and she had a flight to catch.
Yeah.
So she sends it in. They said, "What is this? This should be only $80."
Right.
So she had to explain, well, there was a hurricane and there was a surge, couldn't get a ride, and I had a flight and I had to get somewhere. And they approved it, but do your homework, dude. These are the same people that are in the office when a hurricane comes and they got to move 1,200 people around. So what do you think? It's Galveston, hurricane, Houston.
Yeah.
Why is this question? What question?
Well, I can't answer that, but you know the answer. What was I going to say?
You sound pretty peppy for a guy who's 5 days of the COVID. I'll say that.
I'm back, baby. Well, I didn't. I was in bed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so I pretty much.
That's a lot of masturbation.
It wasn't. Yeah, I tried, but boy, nothing. Dude,
I was just joking. You didn't really have to spill the beans.
Well, every now and then you go. I don't know, maybe. But
it might be my last time.
He was sleepy. He was sleepy Joe down there. It was low energy Jeb. There was nothing happening, man. I was. The old fella.
There was no ducking Trump.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Fight.
That's crazy. You see the animation where his head, if he's looking at that, he turns his head. And if he doesn't look at that board that bullet is like, it's a kill shot.
Yeah.
It's, nicely done.
It's interesting because some people saying, oh, it hit the teleprompter and that was plastic. That's another one that cut his ear. It could have been. I don't know, but maybe. Why not just, it's too late. a majority of people believe that he was grazed by a bullet. But if that animated thing, he literally goes like this, and it just changes from being grazed to going into kill shot. Like they're saying like less than a quarter of an inch. They're talking like millimeters.
Right. Yeah. The
because even if it didn't graze him or the bullet actually hit his skull, high powered rifle, it's enough to implode your cranium and shatter and go into the brain, and the bullet can end up killing someone else.
I mean, if it happened the way seemingly it happened, it's a miracle. The fact is, he should not. Like he said last night, I shouldn't be here. He shouldn't.
And he basically said, he thanked God for the intervention, but that was for votes.
Well, it was weird. He went over and kissed the helmet of the fireman. I mean, this guy he's out there.
He held the Bible up in the fire that mysteriously started in a wastepaper basket in the bottom of a church.
Oh yeah, those Bibles. Doesn't he sell Bibles? I think he's selling gold Bibles too. So get one of those, folks.
He's got a lot of merch. He's got a lot of merch.
But it's just a weird, and that's the thing is though, nowadays he did turn his head. Things like that do happen. But of course, no one nowadays can believe that. You know what I mean? That's
why they can't believe that
nothing
Oswald
can be believed.
Pulled off 2 or 3 shots from.
Well, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I think Woody Harrelson's father was on the grassy knoll.
I think you're right.
Isn't
that interesting? Woody Harrelson,
Charles
famous $200 million actor, and his father was apparently an assassin.
Twice convicted.
Yeah, and he died in prison.
I don't know if I guess he died. Well, he had. If he's dead, he died in prison. He had 2 either attempts or killed 2 federal judges. So old Chuck Howard. That's why Oliver Stone wanted him in Natural Born Killers. He said he had that. He could tell. He goes, he's got that. Because everybody was like, Woody from Cheers.
He's got the killer instinct.
But Stone was like, he's got that fucking in him. He's got that. He can do it. And he was great. But I mean, who would guess Woody from Cheers as
playing the dumb guy,
Natural Born Killer guy? What was his name?
He replaced Coach.
Yeah, that poor guy, huh? Waits his whole career, gets that sitcom, and
was it 1 or 2 seasons?
I think it was 1 season. You know,
he was from Boston or the area, no, Massachusetts.
Was he? He's one of those guys who watch old movies. He pops up in a little part. You go, there's Coach. One of those guys who always looked old.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. I thought he was from like Medford or somewhere.
It's possible. I don't know. But he was one of those. It's like Angela Lansbury. Always looked old.
Yeah, we talked about that. There's a few actors that Wilford Brimley. He was in Cocoon, and he was like 25 years younger than his co-stars, and he looked the same age.
He was like 40 years old.
We don't need any makeup on him. We're going to make him look younger.
Brimley. The fuck?
And our buddy Dan Gerstenlauer. Dan. He's 61 now, 62. He looked probably, I would say, as a teenager. I've seen some pictures of him when he was a teenager too. He looked like he was 30.
He was a teenager?
No, he skipped that. I think he went 1 year of teenage. He was like 19, and then he was born at 19, and then he went right into his 20s.
But he's a Beatle fan, so we cut him that slack. He knows his Beatles.
He sure does.
Hey, did you hear that girl singing the national anthem at the All-Star game?
She said she was drunk. So she was so nervous she was drunk, or she checked into rehab, or is that just her management and agents going, all right, here's what we're going to do. The spin is,
right,
you were drunk.
Yeah.
But I don't drink. You were drunk, and you got a problem. I'm going to put you in rehab. Because that's career ending. It's career ending stuff.
Right. It's like saying something racist. The next day you go to rehab and you admit you have a problem. Who knows if she really drinks? Michael Richards. Yeah.
By the way,
Michael Richards,
comedic genius.
That's been ridiculous. I mean, he should have been able to come back. I mean, that's ridiculous. The guy, okay, whatever. You don't have to go away forever.
He's making a little bit of. He wrote a book and he's been on a little bit of a.
But it's tour. What is it? 20 years later? I mean,
I know. It's so funny. I just saw that not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago. Just to because he's been popping up at these interviews, and I had to look at it again. Because back then I was like, oh, he was trying to be clever, and it got away from him.
Well,
but then I looked at it again. I'm like, I don't know what happened. If he had a meltdown or
no. It's basically impossible to defend or figure out, because what is that? I mean, I've heard people say he was doing a character, and it was like this character he's doing the whole night, and I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know what was in his head, though. It's very, very, very bizarre.
I think when he dropped the N-word, he was being heckled by an African American guy,
right?
And he dropped the N-word, and
we all have.
As soon as it came out, he just went into meltdown and said, I'm going to go all the way with it.
Yeah.
There's a possibility he
went all the way.
Yeah. There's a possibility that the way his mind works, the comedic mind, they even said on the Seinfeld thing, he was like a loner to himself, and everybody else was interacting and hanging out and socializing. And he was like,
yeah.
And, he
had the toughest part on that show, when you think. I mean, the other guys
had the physical part.
Script. He had to do physical and all his lines, but he always had to have an entrance or an exit.
Oh my God. Did you ever see those clips where they do all of his stuff back to back?
Yeah.
He really is brilliant.
Tons of that shit.
He said he wore pads. He wore knee pads, elbow pads, everything underneath that big suit.
Hollywood stuff.
He said, oh no, he goes, I took it very serious. All that stuff. And me falling backwards. I had the small person, or the midget guy at the time, they called him, jump on him. Yep. He said, I fall over backwards onto the ground. I'm wearing pads. He goes, I had a steel pad made to cover my spine with padding underneath that. Because what do I want to do? End up in a wheelchair? So he had the prop guy make him this thing that he designed.
One of the comics I worked with last week on or 2 weeks, whatever it was, on Icon, was saying how we have this freedom of speech and we can say anything we want in here, and he just started yelling out retarded midgets, and then he asked the crowd to repeat it with him, because we have freedom of speech. So the crowd was chanting retarded midgets.
Who was this?
Comedian I worked with on Icon.
On the ship?
Yes, on the ship. Yeah. Retarded midgets. Yeah, it's good. I never did it. I never said retarded midgets on stage. It was freeing to yell it out in the crowd.
All right.
Yeah. Enjoyed that.
Interesting.
Hey, on another comedian, we lost another one, man. Every week.
Bob
every time we do
Newhart, 94 years young. Super tight buddies with Don Rickles. He and his wife, the four of them, their wives, they would often vacation together around the world. And we lost Don Rickles how long ago? Maybe? How long ago?
A couple of years.
Yeah. They're both made it into their 90s, comedians in their 90s.
There's a great little documentary you can think on YouTube even, but Judd Apatow made about Bob Newhart and Don Rickles and their friendship, and it's really good. It's about an hour, half hour, whatever, but it's on YouTube. Yeah, he was great. I mean, you can't even, this guy was an accountant, and he makes that album, The Button Down Mind of Bob Newhart. They said that was the first, when he recorded it in the studio, it was the first time he had done the material. He wasn't like a working comic. He wasn't in clubs. When he went, and then the album goes to number one.
It goes viral.
And then he's booked all over the world. And that's the first time he's really performing.
So that was all, it wasn't rehearsed in front of a live audience. You're saying that he wrote it and recorded it.
And put it out as an album. Because they were like,
that's like a YouTube star today. They make one video.
Yeah.
But at least he backed it up.
And it wins Grammys for Album of the Year, Comedian of the Year, blah, blah, blah. And then he's booked all over the country, and he has to quit his job as an accountant. And now he's hanging with Sinatra and Dean Martin, and he's in Vegas. It's like, what? And he's always that kind of guy, though. You never fit, but he was always, but then you look at him and you go, he's really like the funniest guy in the whole group of all those great entertainers and comedians. And there's a reason they all hung with him. And
And he had the two sitcoms, long-running sitcoms.
Two sitcoms.
Yeah, and performing live.
It's amazing, actually amazing. And he was, he was great. And that album, when you think of it, and I think I told this on the pod once before, when I was 2 years old or 3, my parents had all these albums, and I picked up a pile of the albums to bring them over to another area of the house, I guess, and I dropped them, and I broke my big toe. So I'm like 3 years old, I have a broken big toe, and the button down mine of Bob Newhart, that album was broken, and I was in trouble. But my father loved that album.
I bet he did.
I bet you got to go out and spend $2 and get another one.
Back then,
but
$2.
These people back in the
$2 was like, it was like $26.
Yeah, you'd sit in your living room, and people would come over, and you'd make these weird cocktails, gin rickeys,
Mad Men,
sidecars, and you'd put on Bob Newhart. And then I don't know. The whole thing to me is when you're listening to an album, like, what do you do? Like, who do you look at? You look at the other, like, you know what I mean? Like, say me, you, Kelly, Bernie, another couple. We put on Bob Newhart. What do we do? We just sit there.
I think you're staring at the speaker, and then you look at everybody when everybody laughs.
It's a little strange, but that's what they would do. But Bob Newhart had the #1 album. Then I think he put out another one. It was the same another #1. I mean,
so financially, he was killing it before he left his house.
Right.
To go do his first live show.
Right. Never performed live. It's just it's amazing. And then he had the guys. I was reading his little bio last night, and the guys who wrote for Mary Tyler Moore, the Mary Tyler Moore Show, became writers for him for his stand-up. So I mean, this guy had like the cream of the crop writing stand-up.
So those television writers had another writing job on the side for Bob Newhart.
In the off season, write for Bob Newhart.
Wow.
He'll go on the road to Vegas and shit. And,
dude,
and you could write for him because it wasn't jokes per se. You know what I mean? It was
stories,
a 4 or 5 minute phone call. So you could write that as a comedy writer. Be easy to write for, instead of writing for like, I got to write jokes for you or, whatever.
He started this, right? Didn't he? Was he the guy that started
I believe
this?
He was. Well, that's the thing. Remember, Shelley Berman did it before Newhart. He did it on Sullivan or someone, and Bob Newhart had the #1 album, became the big star, and Shelley Berman hated Newhart and always said he had stolen it. He never stole it, but he was the guy with the phone, and he was forgotten. Yeah. There's someone I know worked with him.
Pete Best story? Is that what happened?
It's kind of Pete. Well, no,
not really.
But in a way, I guess you could, put it in a list of guys who,
Paul Reiser got passed over. Richard Lewis had that issue.
I never saw that though. I've heard that.
I think Richard Lewis accused Reiser of stealing his persona, his stage persona.
But I never saw the copy. I could see Seinfeld saying that to Reiser more than Lewis.
Right.
I don't know. I never saw that.
But it was early on. It was early on, so maybe they made adjustments.
Yeah. But Shelley Berman was working at the Riv in Vegas with somebody, a comic we know, and they were just saying backstage how bitter he was, and he was talking about shit like that. 45 years later, he was like, still, it was my thing, and blah blah blah. And,
well, when Newhart is sitting on millions,
$800 million,
living in a mansion, traveling the world
with Rickles,
and this guy's chasing his $600.
You're at the Riv following Paul Bond or somebody. It's man. At least at the end, Larry David threw him a bone. Remember he was Larry David's father on Curb.
Oh, so
yeah, he threw him a bone there, which was nice. And I think he died shortly after that. But yeah. But I don't know. I don't think Bob Newhart, the accountant in Chicago, was like, hey, let me do this Shelley Berman style.
It just
was one of those things. No.
Coincidence.
No, but Bob Newhart show. People don't, now people don't remember it or know it, but
go on and check out an episode. If you can let yourself go, 1970s. Is it Chicago or Minneapolis? Where is it?
Chicago, yeah.
And Mary Tyler Moore is Minneapolis. Both of those shows, they hold up. I mean, they're timely in one sense with fashion and subject matter, but the characters, there's some chuckles, man.
Very funny. And again, we've talked about Bill
Great
Daly
supporting
from I Dream of
cast.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
plays the same character.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Emily. And the drinking game. We talked about every time someone says, hi, Bob, you do a shot.
Yeah.
So the door opens in his office. Anybody in the cast, hi, Bob. Hi, Bob. You do a shot.
Yeah. There's got to be 20 Hi Bobs every episode.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone, it was one of those shows where they made everyone funny, like the receptionist, who I forget her name, sits in the middle of the thing, and she's funny. The dentist is funny. Like everyone's funny, and then they get in an elevator and they go down, like at a regular sitcom with a door open and closing. He used the elevator in that, and he would say goodbye to people, and they'd get in the elevator. But a great premise for a guy whose bits were on the phone will make him a therapist. He listens
and he's
responds.
in a downtown skyscraper office building with a bunch of other people. So you have all those characters.
It was great.
Who is their Jerry? They had a Jerry. What did he do? What was his occupation? Howard was
Jerry?
The pilot.
Jerry was the dentist.
Oh, Jerry was the dentist. Okay.
Yeah. That was his buddy. And
Fanny Flagg was the receptionist. Was that the actress's name?
Yeah, I remember her. I can't think of her name, but
Am I confusing her with?
Yeah, you're confusing her with someone who looked just like her.
Okay.
In that time. But yeah. And then the guy who played the real depressed guy, one of his patients, he was great. He was a comic.
Yes.
From Bob Newhart, I'm sure knew him back in the day, and he was great. So I mean, they really and then Bob would leave the office and go home, and he had this beautiful apartment, and
a beautiful
Suzanne
wife.
Plachette greets him with a cocktail and a hi, Bob.
And she had that raspy voice, that Demi Moore.
Yeah, she'd been smoking cigarettes and drinking some Jack Daniels.
On a blowjob, Bob.
Hey, now that was the best episode.
That was
a very special
finale.
episode in 1978.
That was the series finale.
When they say that had the greatest ending of all time on a sitcom, that was it. When Emily finally blew Bob, it was quite a thing for 1970.
She did the head bob. Thank you very much.
Hey now, head bob. Yeah. So rest in peace to Bob Newhart. Man, they're all. This is just.
Lou
Who's
Dobbs,
left, for God's sake.
Lou Dobbs passed away as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Lou Dobbs.
I actually met him a couple of times. I was doing some recordings in the radio station. This is after he left television. He was doing radio, and cordial.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to meet Lou Dobbs? I'm like, yeah, I'll meet. He's right across the hall because he loved comedians. He goes, Lou, come on in. He loved to meet the comedians. So whenever I was there once a month, I had my opportunity. I met him twice, but nothing to report.
He seemed like when he was on CNN years ago, he was like a normal guy, and then he went down the Trump shit.
He went to
Fox, and he was just unwatchable and unlistenable. I was like, what are you doing?
And they stuck him on the radio.
But a bad time to die after Trump gets shot at and Bob Newhart. You don't want to be in that news cycle because nobody talking about Lou Dobbs. I hate to say it, but except for Al Ducharme, he's the only one bringing up Lou Dobbs.
Well, because
didn't make my notes.
That's the journalist in me. I wanted to bring up the current event.
Oh, I forgot you are a journalist. That's true. So are you a journalist? When did you become a journalist?
Well, I just go on Facebook and Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X, and I just read everything and then I repeat it, what I want to believe.
Oh, that's the way to do it. I wrote a thing on X.
You got a like?
Whoop, I got a like.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Al Romas got one like.
Well, if you'd let me conclude the tale.
It was the comedy portion of it.
I enjoyed that. My favorite John Lennon album is Mind Games, which was kind of a forgotten album and Now it's people are talking about it. But anyway, they reissued the whole thing, remastered it, put a million tracks, all the stuff. Sean Lennon did it, his son, Sean Lennon. So I went on X and I told Sean how much I enjoyed it and what a great job he did and to thank him. And I got the prayer hands back.
Nice.
With a like from old Sean.
That's
which
great.
Now I'm hearing the prayer hands are really high fives. We've all been led down the road.
Really?
The emoji originally was supposed to be high fives, and knuckleheads took it as prayer hands. So that's what
They could have done it. Could they have done it differently? No, then you wouldn't.
Hands are difficult.
It would have looked like a vagina if you did it differently. Like,
hey now.
What? Okay.
Hey now. High vaginas. 2 high vaginas. Well, I don't care for a high vagina.
Well,
you know what I mean? Well, it's better than low. Let's be honest. Better than hanging low. I think Joan Rivers used to say, I get up and go to the bathroom in the morning and start kicking her vagina. She's like, that's when you're old. You're actually kicking your vagina.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
All
right.
Again,
well,
I'm happy. I'm not going to string you along too long here because I'm surprised at the amount of energy you do have. Did you have coffee?
I've had coffee. I've had a couple, and this is one of those. It's that kind of thing, where once we disconnect all the equipment here, I'll probably pass out for the next 4 hours. So I think I got a little. I feel like because I can feel it already. Like I've exerted all my energy for today, and I'm starting.
And you're traveling tomorrow?
No, I drive Sunday to Canaveral, so a 2-hour drive. So the wonder.
Now, what about your girl? Is she in bed?
Hey, now. That's why I got to get out of here quick. You know what I'm saying, buddy? Yeah, she's asleep. She is out.
And
I wanted to get her on the
100% sure that she got it from you. She didn't get it elsewhere.
No, she could have got it. She traveled. She came back from Michigan. She flew and went to the airport, and she was around people, so it's possible. But I pick her up at the airport and she comes back to a condo that it's a house of sickness.
Right, but how many days later did she start developing symptoms?
Well, she came home Monday and started getting symptoms on Thursday.
Yep, it's from you.
So it's from me.
And I can't believe you guys made those rookie moves.
Well,
2 bedrooms, 2 baths, Uber.
Yeah. I think she still would have got it. It's a house of sickness, man. There's sickness in here.
Bernie and I had it at separate times, and we lived together because we had the same setup: 2 bedrooms, 2 baths.
Yeah, but you have an upstairs and a downstairs. We're on one level.
You drove to pick her up. What kind of mask? What kind of mask were you wearing? Like a Scotch tape napkin?
It was a Planet of the Apes.
And that's our podcast.
Cornelius.
All right.
So long, man. Have a good trip. F*** you.
Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Owls, 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
What? Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forward2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.